Hello, my name is Daniel Herrera, and we're gonna do another problem, another HackerRank problem in Haskell. This is the third problem of the day first of the week preparation kit. So this problem is a very simple, straightforward problem. It converts from standard 12 hours AM PM format into military time or 24-hour format. So an input like 7:05 with 45 seconds in PM translate to 19:05, right? There's special cases. The 12 a.m. goes to 000 in a 24-hour clock, and 12 p.m. goes to 12 in a 24-hour clock. Okay, so let's try and do this. Let's copy this input so that we can work in Emacs. Let's make that a string, and our main is gonna be of the form interact of solve, and solve is gonna be a function that goes from string to string, and in the interact role, this string represents standard input, and this string represents standard output. Right now we don't have the implementation. Undefined, it's not in scope. Find there, and we save that, and that should work. So there, that works. Now we won't, this will be the final state of our program. We'll massage it. We'll get the input, and we'll massage that input into this type precisely when step by step, right? So the first thing that we can do is give a name to the argument, to the input, and we want to make from this information, this whole string, we want groups. Specifically, we want this group, that group, that group, and that group. We can do this with a function called group by. So group by takes a function that takes two things, a list of things, and returns a list of those groups, if that makes sense. So we have to have a function that takes two things and returns a boolean. In this case, it's gonna be this is a list of chars. So the things are chars here, and so we'll have a function from char to bool, and we'll receive a list of chars, and we'll get lists of chars, or a list of strings, which is the same thing, right? So we wanted to use group by, and now we need a function that makes this group by. We'll put an undefined by right now, and we need the list from which it's gonna be looking by. It says here that group by is not in scope, so let's make it be in scope. Control C, CA tells me to, there's many, but I want to group by from data list, and very well. Now we'll also comment this because at the end of the day, it's gonna expect a string to string, and right now it's not a string to string, it's something else. Right now it's actually just undefined, but when that's defined it's gonna be a list of strings, so that's not gonna work. How are we gonna do this grouping? Well, if we want to group them if they're a number, and if they're not a number, we also want to group them. And this will give us the column as a group, which we could purge, but it also doesn't estorba, one will say in Spanish. And so let's try to solve this. So there's a pattern also that we want for the characters to be grouped by. So we want, well, I'm gonna name it an XOR, and it's if two characters are a number, so if they are a number and they are a number, then we want it to be grouped, so yes please group. And if two of them are not a number and not a number, like these two, so we're talking about characters, not a number and not a number, we want true, so that wants to be grouped. And if we have any other case, so true, false, we want those not to be grouped. So if that's a number and that's not a number, we don't want those to be grouped. And also if that's not a number and that's a number, we also don't want those cases to be grouped. So we can just do for all of the other cases, do a false, right? So in this group by, we're gonna do a lambda that takes two characters, so character X and character Y, and then we're gonna do this n XOR over the is a number. So as n XOR of is a number, something from data char, is a number from data char, which is Haskell LSB helps me import it, which is nice. So if this is a number and the other car is a number, then use the NXOR logic defined precisely here to say if you want it to be grouped or not grouped, right? So let's save this, let's reload that, and let's ask it what's the solve of input. So that's precisely what we wanted, right? We want the groups of they're all strings. We'll parse this to ints, maybe those not, and that one is important, right? So this is a good like auxiliary step, and we can use it in a let. That'll be our, this will be this type of grouping, a list of strings, so we can work with that, and we want to do a little bit of pattern matching, of maybe we want to know what's the PM or AM, so we want to know the last, if we do last of aux, then we can do a case. So this was off, and then I have to put the case if that's PM or do something, or if that's AM, do another thing. Well, because of these specific cases of the 12 o'clocks, cases. That's gonna make it special for how it works with PM and AM. So we'll also add into this pattern matching the inclusion of the hour. We want this part, right? This hour. We haven't defined hour, but we can define it, and we can say that hour is the first of it's the head of aux, and it's gonna be a string in this case. But if we do read of that, then and tell it that hour is an int, and it'll know. And here, so the case is gonna be over this tuple, and the first thing is gonna be the AM or PM, and the last thing is gonna be the hour, right? So this is missing an hour with something there, and that's also missing an hour with something there. So it's important, specifically let's do AM first. Specifically for AM, when it's 12 AM, we know that we don't write like in the case. We can change it. AM. Let's do that. When it's 12 AM, we know that, or we can do it this way. Let me show you this way. So this is the previous solve, and we give it that string. And in the 12 AM format, we know that we want to conserve this part and just change that part, right? From 12 to 00. So we can just take the tail of aux, and that will give us this part. But we don't actually want just the tail. We don't want the AM part in military format, so we can do an init of this. And this is a function composition of init and tail. So first we're gonna grab this part, and then we're gonna get rid of the 12. So we'll end with this, and that's something we're gonna use. And we can pre-concatenate 00. So we can do 0 0 and since a string is a monoid, we can use the monoid operator, and that should work. Why is it mad? Could not match char with char. Oh, so this is gonna be, this is not actually a string, it's a list of strings. So I want to concatenate those things, and that's gonna be what we want. So next case is if we have 12 AM, but we don't know the hour, right? The hour is something h, some variable h, and in this case we don't need to change it. So 1 AM is just in military time 1, right? And so we can just grab the init of aux and that's gonna give us all of these part, just excluding the PM and AM, and we want to concat that. So we didn't do anything to it. We're just spitting out the same thing, this part concatenated, in the case that it's not at 12 AM. And now with PM, when it's 12 PM, we don't actually want to do anything to it in the same sense. So it'll display this part with a PM here, and 12 translates to 12 in military time. So we also want to keep it the same, and we know that that's gonna be this. And finally, we can do PM and any other hour, and this will suffer a difference because 1 PM is 13 hours, right? So we'll take only this part from here to there, which is precisely this thing here, and we'll concatenate the hour plus 12, and this is an integer, so we can show this, and then we can concatenate that whatever that is into this part of the time display, right? So if this is a partial function, so if it gives anything else, we'll just error and say input not valid or something like that, right? So there it is. Now this function is a string to string. Let's just reload that, and let's just solve input. Okay, that was correct. We did want something like that. And then let's do that input, and it does give us the desired output, the military format of 705. And we can try putting this. So now the main will work. We can place that here, and that is also correct. Now it's a string to string, and we don't actually want that input, but we do want those imports. Now let's go here, let's remove everything here, let's paste that, okay, again, let's copy, let's paste, okay, again, let's copy, and then let's paste, and let's try it. Okay, for the one case it did work, and for the others it also works. Perfect. Perfect. So thank you very much. Bye bye.